The Museum of Islamic Arts is one of the most important museums in the world due to its rare about many different pieces. There were talking pieces, also ceramics, manuscripts, a lot of things. Let's find out together more about the Museum of Islamic Arts and more about its collection.
If not all, either can never be swear. Chronologically, the museum of the 7th century to the end of the 9th century. It also displays arms and armories, carpets, coins and medals, ceramics, glass, jewelry, manuscripts, measures and weight, metalworks, stone and marble carvings, textiles and woodworks. There are 25 halls with so many pieces reflecting different periods of time, and each reflects unique architectural style. The first hall is devoted to display the newly acquired objects of arts by purchasing, gifting, or through excavations attributed to different dates and countries. The objects are temporarily displayed in this hall for a term of time, then allotted to their respective halls in the museum according to style or material. Moving around or traveling through time. This is the only things one can describe in the museum. second hall exhibits Umayyad style objects of arts representing the first style in Islamic art. These decorative arts are relatively few. The marble pavement of the hall and the narrow arcade shelf to the left are but the third one is dedicated to the Abbasid and Tulunid art. This Islamic style was practiced in Egypt with the rise of the independent Tulunid dynasty, and it is characterized by the abstract, unstylized decorative motifs within a pure Islamic spirit. The stucco, wood panels, metalworks, textiles, glazed and luster-painted ceramics represent in depth this rich Islamic style. The museum displays some marvelous wooden objects that reflect how skillful the Muslims were in the manufacturing and carving on wood. The art of wood carving has flourished greatly during the Fatimids era, when the wood was decorated and carved into two different levels, proving how skillful the artists of this period were. Some wooden decorations that were found in the complex of Sultan Qalawun in El Muizz Street that were originally brought from the Western Fatimid Palace in the area of Bain al-Qasrain in Islamic Cairo are put on display in the museum, and they illustrate how clever and creative the Fatimid workers and craftsmen were. Objects that were manufactured during the Mamluk and Ottoman period were decorated with mother of pearl and ivory. Then we moved on to the fourth hall, where one can learn more about the Fatimid style. The third Islamic style originated and developed in Egypt. On display, we have a selection of ceramic objects decorated in luster glass according to the same technique, and rock crystals. A unique collection of Fatimid textiles, not only rare in technique but decorations as well. As molded and hammer are beautifully exhibited. To learn more about Mamluk style, just stop at the fifth hall to take a look at the Mamluk arts. Is a high collection among the 14th century in Egypt and Syria. On display, there are a selective choice of metal works inlaid with gold and silver, plated doors, lanterns, candlesticks, labels, Quran boxes, pen cases, vessels, and vases bearing the Sultan's names and titles. A unique fountain of marble mosaics lies in the middle of the hall. Marble and stone architectural elements and blazons are exhibited on the walls of this hall. The Mamluk art began to decline in the mid-15th century. There is also an exquisite door originating from Al-Azhar Mosque, and it is displayed at the entrance of the sixth hall, going back to the year 1010 AD. Three unique transportable mihrabs used to fix the directions of the Holy Kaaba in Mecca are on display. The mihrab is one of the most important things in any mosque because each is unique and reflects the style. For those who are interested in old wooden objects and designs, just take a look at the Mashrabiyya's style. Made of wood and it was used at that time to provide privacy, shadow, light and ventilation in installations. It is a type of projecting oriel window enclosed with carved wood lattice work located on the second story of the building or higher, often lined with stained glass. The Mashrabiyya is an element of traditional Arabic architecture used since the Middle Ages up to the mid-20th century. It is mostly used on the street side of the building, however, it may also be used internally on Sahn side. A collection of Mashrabiyyas of turned wood originally from an Ottoman wikala in Rosetta, a big conical brass lantern from the Mamluk period. The eighth hall exhibits a rich collection of wood and ivory Ayyubid and Mamluk are on display, with wood decorative panels, mostly with calligraphy and geometric carved designs. With panels with precise details inlaid with ivory, as well as pure ivory panels, and being such wooden bone combs, custom ivory boxes, Quran boxes, and two poets. There are also woodworks dating to the later Mamluk period, the 15th and 16th century AD, and the doors with geometric and inlaid panels up front. On display, a good collection of wood boxes, ivory and mother of pearl, a variety of Persian metal works including different vessels, oil lamps, incense burners, mirrors and beauty aids. and a lot of these metal products are inlaid with silver. These objects reveal the development of metalwork industry in Persia during the Islamic period. The 10th hall has some unique floral decorations and panels inlaid with bone in geometric forms, and a collection of mashrabiyas in turned wood, and in the middle of the hall, a marble fountain with a vertical column in the center, allowing water to escape from its top through tiny holes. The splendors of Islamic metalwork, mostly Memluk, are also on display. A huge wooden door at the entrance plated with brass on one side was originally from the mosque of a Fatimid minister back to the year 1161 AD. In addition to a brass vase inlaid with gold and silver in the name of one of the famous Memluk emirs. Also on display a brass rose water sprinkler inlaid with gold and silver in the name of Sultan Hassan, who died in 1361 AD. This hall is devoted to exhibit arms and armors. Damascus, Anatolia, and Persia were the main centers of swords making in the Islamic period. On display, a unique sword of Persian origin, the hilt of horn and a safeguard of steel. It is said that Ibrahim Pasha, son of Muhammad Ali, carried this sword in one of the battles in 1839. It's an Anatolian origin sword.
Well, that was over today, but let me tell you something that is really of great that one day is not enough to explore the Museum of Islamic Arts. Well, it might take 1 day, 2 days to find out more about the important pieces. Here we have many halls, and in each hall we have many rare collections. Joining us, we will be back to bring you more about Egypt and more about its historical sites.